Hello, everyone. Welcome to another GoDaddy Pro EMEA Meetup. Today is 28th March, and today we have an interesting guest, Tayfun Bilsel, with us. Hello, Tayfun. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure. The topic that we will be discussing tonight with us, I think it's actually on everyone's mind. And today also we have our Ken, our co-host. Hi, Ken. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
That's great. Without further ado, and because the topic that we will be talking today, it's very interesting, I'd like to start with you, Typhoon. First, please tell us where you work and where you live and what type of business you do.
Okay, so I'm CEO and founder of Clinked. We are based in Cambridge, United Kingdom, but we have people all over the world in 7 different countries, including Latvia and Belgium and Turkey and Moldova and many other countries, United States. So we provide businesses software as a service platform, client portal specifically. So we make easy for businesses to communicate with their clients, better communicate with clients. And they also, while they are doing this, they also become compliant and secure. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Ken, are you going to enjoy tonight this talk? Have you been thinking of have you used client portals before?
I have not.
Okay, me neither. So this is going to be very interesting point, right? To understand the business development part. So I'll start with questions. What we prepared for today to try to understand how you created, how actually you came from an idea and just an abstract thing to a 7-digit business. So
Yeah.
my first question to you would be, tell us how it all started. Did you know you wanted to do this business, what you do today, or it just developed on the way?
It kind of developed on the way, and I originally started working for a large manufacturing company. We're talking about thousands of employees worldwide, and of course, they needed a platform to communicate with their employees and their partners and their clients. And I was at the time, I'm coming from engineering background, and I like building things and experiment things. And instead of purchasing different applications and software applications, I tend to create my own, and that's how it all started. And I developed this kind of intranet, extranet kind of solution to this large manufacturing company, and we started introducing this to employees. But it was a bit one-way interaction, so we put information there, and then this information was consumed by employees and users and partners. And there's no two-way interaction. And then we talked about, how about we create a collaborative portal where clients and partners and everyone get together and engage in a secure way. And then that's how we created Clinked, and Clinked became now one of the leading client portal solution. So we have clients in 22 countries, and yeah, it's been an exciting journey.
Nice. What were some of your biggest challenges during the first couple of years?
I think the biggest challenges were getting the first 10, 15 clients, paying clients. Um, this is really important. I mean, for some companies, this number could be 50 or 20. But for us, it was the biggest challenge is to get the first 10 paying clients. When I say paying clients, this excludes relatives, friends, family members, so completely, outsiders. So when you build something, and if you manage to sell it to the first 10, that means you can potentially sell it to 20, then 50, then 100, then 20,000. So you can scale your business. So the biggest challenge for us, and I'm sure for many companies, is to get the first 10 paying clients.
Did you know it was 10? Like, was that a break-even path that you took, or
No,
you?
it wasn't. No, it wasn't necessarily break even. Nowhere near break even number. But it shows that there are people out there. They value the service you provide. I mean, maybe you can get one client or two clients by luck, but surely when you get to 10, 20, so that's not luck anymore. So you are doing something that people value, pay for your services, and that's when you understand, okay, there's a light at the end of it, and then you then invest in the areas where you are successful, and then you try to scale your business.
What did you learn during that phase? Like, what advice would you give to new business owners?
Yeah, I did one of the common mistakes at the time, and many startup founders actually do that still. And it's so appealing to create a product because we love creating things. But if you start creating things that nobody uses, that's a problem, and a big problem, because sometimes they spend like years building a product, and they spend all the money on engineering and development and marketing and everything, and then after 2 years they uh, realize that nobody is buying the product. There's no market for it, or they haven't been listening the market. They're not getting feedback, and so on. My biggest advice, it's very important to test the market. You don't need to build a product. You don't need to spend 2 years. You need to go out and talk to your customers, potential customers, and make sure whatever you're building, when it's complete, they're ready to buy. Of course, market conditions change, but it's really important to go to your customers, potential customers, to test the market. And you can create a simple prototype. It could be in the form of HTML prototype. It could be in the form of UI UX prototype, and you can put it in front of your potential customers. And are you going to buy this product in 6 months time? Are you going to buy this product in a year time? So test it, and once you get the positive feedback, and during this phase, they will be giving you lots of advice, and they will be asking lots of relevant questions, and that will help you make better decisions, and that will help you create better products. And then you can start building your product based on the market feedback. And this is not just one of feedback. It's a continuous journey. You need to talking to your potential customers all the time. You need to make adjustments and optimize your product, because market change all the time. In 6 months, maybe whatever you're building right now, it may not be so valuable in 6 months time. So that's why you need to be talking to your potential customers all the time, or existing customers.
So basically what you're saying, so if anyone is starting their own business at the beginning, like in a football team, they will be the goalkeeper, the attacker, the fan, the public, the referee, and every. So this multi-faced person actually needs to start thinking. And this is where we come to tip 1. We said we will mention 7 tips on how to build a successful business facing clients. So we come to the tip 1, where you said that one of the most important thing is to make sure not to make a mistake and invest your time and money in non-viable business. So how do you, what's the right way to think? How do you know you're investing time in non-viable business?
Um, there are multiple ways of doing this. Again, you can have conversations, you can conduct interviews, you can send surveys, and you can collect the data in many different ways. But the ultimate way, if you can do this, you can get letter of intent from potential customers and saying, in 6 months' time or 1 year time, when I complete this product, are you going to buy this? Are you going to commit to it? Because what may be so important to them, it's so critical for them. They're ready to make a commitment, even though you don't have a product today. So it could be a physical product that you're building, it could be a software product, it could be a service you're providing, whatever it might be. But you can get one form or another, you can get their commitment early on.
Interesting. Have you done that when you
No,
started?
I did not. But surely I start another business and I will follow my own advice.
Sure. Ken, would you perhaps like the tip 2?
Yeah. With building the right team, what kind of things should you pay attention to? Like who to hire first and whatnot?
Yeah, you can, depends on, so for us, it was, we hired engineering team first, because like I said, we liked, building things. But marketing is very important. And I would probably start hiring a marketing team first, even the first marketing hire, and test the market, get feedback, and that will directly influence your product roadmap and whatever you're building or creating. So that's really important. But if you already know what you're doing, if you're doing specific things, and of course you can start hiring the engineering team. So it depends on your business model and depends on the product you're building, whether it's a physical product or software product. But for us, it was marketing and engineering.
And for instance, how do you motivate the team? I mean, first, there is a hurdle of actually getting the right people on board, right? And then at some certain part of the, development or the process in general, project development, people get saturated, maybe perhaps tired, or perhaps they don't find the job that much challenging. How do you motivate people to stay?
Yeah, one of the things people always think, oh, I can motivate people with money. Okay, how much more money you like? So shall I raise your pay? And it doesn't necessarily mean everyone is motivated by money, but usually, I would say 99%. The golden rule is everyone, the team members need to feel valued. If you, as a team member, if you feel valued in the company, then that means you are motivated and you want to keep going. And people leave the team or the work environment for multiple reasons, but one of the biggest reason is they don't feel valued, and they think, okay, whatever they say or their contribution, they don't value it, and then that's when they actually leave the company.
I think every company has a quite hard task to do from this point because we're all very unique. We have different approaches, different expectations, different battles that we personally fight, right? So I think it's not easy to be the owner of a company, or at least the person who is toning the culture within. So speaking about culture, what do you think? What can be a problem that can undermine the success of a team? Also, speaking about building good relations within the company.
Of course, you need to be transparent and open, and things could go wrong at any time, early stages or later. When your company grows, as your company grows, you will face different challenges, but you always need to be transparent and open with your team members. You need to share as much information as possible. So don't ever think like, oh, I should hide this from my team members because this could demotivate them somehow. And I think I find it really valuable to share uh, positives and negatives with all of the team members so that they know that I'm transparent, they know that I'm telling the truth all the time. But it's also important to set core values in the team. So in our team, we have our core values are about smart, trustworthiness, being passionate and creative. So we tend to hire passionate and creative people, and we want to be innovative all the time. And we are also hardworking. So we have those core values. That's what we're looking for in every single team member.
You've been actually managing both centralized and distributed teams, right? So
That's correct.
what do you find easier? What's easier for you to manage? I mean, or what does it have, or is a predetermination of success centralized team, or it's just the flow of information that is essential for any team that need to grow?
Um, I think we've seen productivity dramatically increased when we started working remotely in different places. But that also mean that you need to really adapt well to that change. And otherwise, if team members cannot communicate with each other, then you will face a lot of challenges or problems. And I think I can see the value being in a physical space, but from productivity point of view, I really do support working remotely, and I think hybrid approach is perfect. So time to time, get together, organize team events, even if you are in different countries. Maybe every 6 months, maybe every 3 months, you come together and do some team activities. So that's really important. But otherwise, we change the company structure in a way that we can communicate effectively, even though we work in different time zones and different countries. For example, we adopted agile working not only in our software engineering team, but also in our marketing, sales, client success teams. And then every day we have stand-up meetings, and where everyone share their day, what they're going to do today, and what they worked on yesterday. So keep everyone in the loop. And then every week we share our team KPIs together, and that keeps everyone up to date. Even developers or engineers join the marketing meeting to see what's going on the marketing side, and the marketing team members join the development side so they can see what's happening on the product side. So I think you need to change the culture within the company to make the remote work happen. So don't expect people to work efficiently if you don't have the tools or the means of getting together. Um, so you need to communicate effectively to make that happen.
With testing the market, how would you know if you've got a good product market fit?
Again, this could be so if you ask an investor like venture capital, for example, what do you think the product market fit is? So they might tell you, okay, when a company reaches 1 million, 2 million ARR recurring revenue, that's when we see, product market fit. For another company, it could be number of clients or amount of revenue, or it could be different things to different companies. But again, for us, it was getting the first 10 paying customers. And I can actually give you a funny example. So our first ever client was from South Africa, and we still keep that kind of records, the PayPal transaction. So at the time we were charging, or we were using PayPal as a way to collect money from our clients. And then the first customer signed up from South Africa. I think it was an accountancy business, and they signed up and paid the monthly fee. And then after a day, the client canceled, saying we signed up by mistake. And in the meantime, we printed out that transaction and then put it on the wall and frame it, and then celebrating, oh, we got our first customer and everything. And then the next day canceled. And of course, that was a really big shock, but it was a good learning for us too, because we learned a lot from the client. So we got a feedback. We had a telephone conversation and understand, how did you find our product in the first place? Why did you sign up? And you can ask all these questions, and then with that learning, you can go back and optimize your product, optimize your sales channels, optimize your marketing channels, and try to replicate that. And then when you get the first customer, the second and the third, and so you want to scale your business after that.
Well, this was a very interesting experience, I might say. I mean, it was a big blow, I believe, to all your efforts. So how did you remotivated yourself and explained yourself that you're still on the right path?
Yeah, it is. That's one of the biggest challenges founders experience. I mean, first of all, you need to motivate yourself before you could motivate your team, because otherwise everything fails. And it's just that you want to, as you spend more time on building the product and the marketing and everything, you just wake up every morning that if you still see the light at the end of the tunnel, like I can make that happen. It could be maybe the website statistics, it might be going up, but nobody's buying your product yet, but there's an interest, you can see it. Or it might be the feedback you're getting from potential clients. It might be the product that you're building making you really excited because you are trying to achieve something. So for different people, there are different motivational factors, but I think for me it's a combination of things: the marketing, the sales, and even if someone goes up to a demo, if I'm talking to someone, explaining the product, explaining the benefits and use cases, having a conversation, and if they purchase the product, there's no other better motivational thing than someone interested in your product and signing up to your product. So this is better than anything, like the money, or the bigger picture or everything. So this is it feels so good that to see your product is helping another business. I think
Before we move,
that was my motivational.
Sorry, before we move to our tip 4, I wanted to understand when you were aware that your idea, the team that you have, and that everything that you guys put in place, how much time has passed since the beginning when you understood and said, yeah, I can finally confirm we're on the right path? It took us so much and so much time. Is it like a year? Is it like 2 years, 3 years? how long is this process of understanding that you are actually on the right path? Because some people might even say after a month, oh, sorry, I give up. I don't think this is working for me. It's not giving any results. Is there any time frame that people should be looking for, especially building new businesses?
Yeah, there are specific time frames. I mean, people say if you ask the question to business people, sometimes they say, if you don't see anything within 2 years, then forget about it. And sometimes they say 5 years. It changes from business to business. For us, it took several years because we made a lot of mistakes. And like I said, the biggest mistake was we spent building the product for about 2 years before we go to the first potential customer, and that was the biggest mistake. And we lost years of development and our time. So that's why I'm sharing some of the tips. Don't do the same mistake. Please go and sell your product first before you build your product. And I think that this is really, really important.
Awesome. So now speaking of even more serious things, I mean, capital, right? Everybody needs capital. When you started, did you start with enough capital to sustain your business, or you started with much less, much less needed?
Yeah, I mean, there are many ways of raising capital. Of course, venture capital, seed rounds, and angel rounds is one thing. You can also borrow money from banks or financial institutions, so that's another way. But for us, the company I used to work kind of agreed to invest into the business. I had some existing relationships with the management of the company I used to work for, and but they provided the money as a form of loan initially. So it was a long-term loan we got from this manufacturing company, and then that helped us to actually build the product and go to market and prove that there's a market and commercialize the project. But it's very important to get business angels involved, or if you can, maybe seed round or pre-seed round from venture capital. And sooner you do that, the better, so that you have enough capital to actually get the business going.
Before,
With marketing,
Ken,
yeah.
just a second. Do you have a related word to your previous question? Yelena is asking, did your colleagues have faith that you would succeed as you did, or did you have to encourage them a little more, and how did you do that? I think that's very, very interesting question.
Yeah, so certainly. Some people that we hired in the past, at some point, they lost faith, and could have been my fault. Maybe I said something that I wasn't supposed to say it, but or the product, or maybe they couldn't see enough traction in the beginning. So many reasons, and but we have some people today in the company believed in our mission for so many years, and they are still with us. And it's amazing to see and share ups and downs with the people, with you from the beginning. That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. With marketing your product, can you share some tips on inbound marketing and SEO?
Yeah, of course. Again, there are different channels of selling or marketing your product. From my point of view, there are two ways: inbound and outbound. Some companies are extremely successful with outbound, and sometimes it's because they don't know how to do inbound, and they just stick to what they know, and they just pick up the phone and send LinkedIn messages and send cold emails, and then they convert business, or they go to exhibitions. So there are many different ways of doing outbound, and it's not really difficult to do it. It's just about knowing the value of the product, whatever you're bringing on the table, and then convincing potential clients to listen to you. But on our side, we've been extremely successful with inbound. We never done outbound, and with inbound, always been involved in. We've been attending every single event that HubSpot, for example, created or organized in Boston or online and the different places. We learn from the experts. We work with a lot of people in that area, and it takes such a long time. So with inbound, you need to invest at least a year or 18 months before you can see the results. So nothing is going to happen overnight. And for us, content marketing was number one priority, and it's been extremely successful. We've been creating a lot of useful content to our people, our potential customers, and then we've been generating interest that way. And we've been also leveraging social media channels as well, and SEO, and doing lots of analysis with search engine marketing, and that helped us a lot, especially in the early days. Now we're looking at a number of different channels, like the partners and outbound sales, etc. But for many years, inbound helped us a lot to become 7-digit kind of turnovers.
And at what stage do you think a company should start with both inbound or outbound strategy? When are you ready to do any of those?
That depends on the business. For software as a service business, if you're creating a self-service business, then inbound would be extremely useful. And then you let companies to find you, and that would be a way to organically grow your company. And outbound, but one thing with inbound is it may not be always predictable. And when I say predictable, for example, let's say if your marketing budget is $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month, and then you're spending that on content marketing or search engine marketing on different areas in inbound, and it doesn't mean when you double your marketing budget, you will double your customers. So that's the kind of thing with inbound. So it could be unpredictable in some ways. Whereas with outbound, it is more predictable. So for example, if you're getting 10% conversion rate from an SDR, or 10 bookings a month, or 20 bookings a month, then you can add more SDRs to scale that, and it's more predictable. You can calculate the risks. You can calculate how much money you need to invest and what return you're going to get. And of course, there are challenges. One SDR may be extremely successful, and another one not so good, maybe not performing well. So there are some variations, but it's still probably like 5-10 times more predictable than inbound sales. But you need to do both. I think so. That's my advice. So you cannot just ignore inbound or outbound. So you need to, ideally, you need to do inbound and outbound together.
How about Google Ads? What's your opinion of Google Ads? I mean, a personal question, like, do you click on Google Ads when you search for something? Do you click on Google Ads, or you actually go and find the website of a company? How does it work with you?
I do click on Google Ads, but if it's possible, if there's an organic linking, I prefer to click the organic linking rather than the Google Ads. But if if I cannot find it, then of course I use Google Ads. But our strategy with Google Ads is I see Google Ads as, in a way, it's ideal for experimenting things, especially if you're not ranked organically for certain keywords. Then you can test the market, you can experiment with certain keywords without spending crazy amount of money. And once you see the results, and once you test the market, the keywords, and see the potential, and then my personal approach would be, then I would invest rather than scaling the AdWords campaign and spending more money. I would spend that budget on content marketing and search engine marketing, because that will give you the long-term results. Whereas as soon as you switch off that ad, you won't be making money again, so no one could find you. So you need to keep investing and keep spending the money, and especially when there's a competition, then you might have to spend like 10 times, 20 times to catch up with other competitors. So my advice is, please don't spend crazy amounts on Google Ads, and think about your content marketing strategy, think about your search engine marketing strategy, and invest in those areas, invest in inbound marketing. Yeah.
With old-fashioned printed media, do you think it's still worth doing that in our day and age where everything is just continuing to make this push to digital?
Well, of course, I'm sure I'm not expert in printed kind of media, but I'm sure there's still a need in some places, because there are events going on, and there's so many things still. There are physical events, and it's still extremely important. But of course, I can see personally there's more opportunity in the digital world, and if you can do both, then that would be even.
Some QR codes could help on it, right? Even if it's
Yeah.
printed. I don't know how safe it is actually. Whenever I see a QR code, I try to scan it. Don't ask me why. That's just like it's constantly keep calling me, Maybe it's not a good habit with security and stuff, but I do check them a lot. So when we talk about social media, I mean, yeah, I don't think that social media is actually limiting us to only build our brand or bring our customers. Does this mean that without social media, that all our efforts that we do would not be visible, right? Would business actually? My question to you is: would business nowadays survive without social media as channels of communication with community and lovers, or perhaps people who are joining the industry?
I think a business can still survive without social media, as long as your clients, there's a way for clients to find you in a number of different ways. It could be a portal, it could be a site that you advertise, or it could be organic rankings. So a business can survive. But if you think about search engine management strategies, and what everyone says is there's a contributing, it's very important for social media influence in terms of search rankings. So you need to complement your search engine marketing strategy, and support it with social media. So that's really important. Even if social media is not important for you, it's not priority, but you still need to support it, support with social media.
With marketing being so kind of hard and complex, in your opinion, do startups need to get some professional paid help with the marketing in the beginning, or is it possible to successfully do it yourself?
My personal golden rule is you need to know how to get things done, right? For example, from sales point of view, if you never sold your own product, nobody will come and sell it for you. Because I made that mistake too. Again, that's something, because I come from engineering background. Okay, I always thought, you know what, I'm gonna get someone who is maybe VP of sales with 25 years experience working for, I don't know, HP, IBM, so big brands, and then they will come and close $1 million sale. That's never going to happen. So you need to figure out how to sell your product before you can hire your first sales rep. And then you need to tell them how to do it, and also you need to put this strategy in place to scale your sales. Nobody is gonna come and do it for you. Of course, at certain point, as you grow, maybe 10 employees, 20 employees, you need to delegate tasks. But in the beginning, as the founder, you need to understand the finance, you need to understand the marketing, you need to understand the sales, to a degree that you can take off your business, and then delegate it to other people that you can trust, so that you can focus on the strategy and the priorities.
That's interesting. I mean, besides just using tools, you've been also building tools, right, for other people. So when it comes to business tools, I believe those have been changing over the period of time as the company has been changing and growing, and then the tech has also been improved. Is there like a business tool that you use in your work, something that you really respect and you think that small and medium enterprises should also have those? Which business tool would that be? Either being Zoom, or I don't know, or even more Tableau, or I don't know what you actually use to follow your business.
Yeah, we use a number of tools. And for example, we collect data using digital forms. We stop using PDF documents and so on. Instead, we use form builders such as JotForm. So JotForm is a perfect tool to collect data from your clients. And we can actually integrate the forms into a client portal, for example, so that clients can log into the portal and instead of downloading PDF and putting the information, they can quickly fill out the form. So that's much quicker. And otherwise, we use Gmail, like a lot of other people, and we use Google Drive to share internal documents. We use our own tool because our own tool also integrates with form builders and Google Drive and everything else. And if you want to sign contracts with clients, we use DocuSign and Adobe Sign. And again, we are partners of these two companies. Yeah, we use personally, I use Dropbox for personal files, but not business files. And we, as a team, we use a number of different development tools. We use Pivotal Tracker to keep track of development projects. It's been an amazing tool for the engineering team, and we've been using it more than 10 years now. It's very simple and easy to use. And yeah, so these are mainly the basic tools we use.
Awesome. Before we move to the tip 6, you just mentioned Client Portal, and I know that Clinked offers this great tool that makes communication quite easy. Could you please tell us more about it? What are the benefits of a client portal for freelancer consultants and other WordPress users in our ecosystem? I mean, if you'd like, you can also share a screen or something, but it would be really nice if you can tell us more.
Yeah, of course. Let me actually share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see. Correct.
Okay, that's great. And before I show what a client portal looks like, let me explain what it is, and especially the way we communicate with clients today, primarily via email, right? And this is extremely effective if you have 5 clients, 10 clients. I can add some attachments and send contracts, and I can keep everything in my inbox, which is fine. But what if you have 200 clients? What if you have 500 clients? How can you effectively store and access the information within your inbox, regardless of whichever system you use, like Outlook or Gmail and so on? And if you try to use generic tools like Google Drive or Dropbox, again, everything is folder based. It's not really branded, and it's not the best tool, especially if you have a lot of clients. So that's when you need a client portal, especially white label portal that you can actually put your brand on. It's going to be your own portal, and you invite your clients into it, and then they will be able to access the information and download documents, sign contracts. So this is an example of how it looks like. And once you log into the portal, and you can see all the activities. For example, in the activity stream, you can see who is uploading a document, who's asking a question, and on the right-hand side, your files, your notes, and everything. And on the left-hand side, you have your clients, and you can group them together. You might have 200 clients. You can quickly search for it. And then you can see who is online. They can engage with you, ask questions. It's so simple. And you can do everything from your mobile app as well, from iOS or Android. And the client experience is, let's say, this is your company called BudX, and you work with a client called Porter Investment. And when they log in, you can very effectively onboard your clients, get them to watch a video, or let them download their invoices, or share your marketing or financial KPIs with your client to keep up to date, keep them up to date all the time. And it's very simple. So it's completely customizable. Just need to click edit and design your own dashboard. Or you may want to collect information from them. Again, you can put a form and then ask them to complete the form. It's so simple to invite clients. So all you have to do is just, once you create their secure environment, click on invite members, type their email address, and then invite them. And they will choose a username and password to log in to the secure portal, and they can access their homepage and the files. The files is very simple. You can create folders, subfolders, drag and drop documents, and you can see all the information there. When you click on it, you can see the files, content. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can annotate, or you can comment. So instead of sending emails back and forth, you can quickly mention them. Just like social media, you can mention anyone in the platform, and then this will automatically send an email to that person. We also have DocuSign integration or Adobe Sign integration. If you sign contracts regularly with your clients, it's very simple to connect your DocuSign account or Adobe Sign account with your portal, and that's how you sign documents electronically. And we have unlimited version control, so that means every time you update the documents, another version is created. So this way, you always you can go back to any previous version. You can download any version at any time. So that's really simple. You can also link it with your Google Drive. So if you use Google Drive, for example, you can connect your Google account, and then you can link Google Drive documents directly in the portal. So that will help you, so you don't have to duplicate content in several different places. And then we have notes section. So this is how you collect clients. Again, we have integration with Tableau or Databox if you want to share some visual charts or graphics or dashboards. We have discussions, and then the real-time chat is available. You can communicate with anyone at any time. You can see who's online. Then you can schedule meetings with clients, and whenever you create a meeting, it will automatically schedule the event, and it will put it on your calendar as well as client's calendar. You can also manage tasks together. You can assign tasks to different people, clients or internal team members. You can share the progress with your clients. So let's say if you're a marketing agency, you're running a campaign for a client, so you can list all the kind of tasks and update the progress, and so they know where we are with the project. And then if you have your own tools and applications that you use, we have the shortcuts feature. You can link anything with the portal. It could be an external site, it could be an internal document, and you can link all these shortcuts if you like to. And then, so this one is, for example, KPI, a Tableau sample, so you can share this interactive chart with your client. So that's the kind of typical experience of a client portal. Again, every business is different, and we also offer customizable portals, so we can customize the overall experience and tailor it for the business. But these are the standard features of the platform.
So basically, both the host as an agency and a client should sign up, right, in order to be able to exchange relevant information between them. So I love this part where, for instance, if you're an SEO agency and if you're running campaigns and trying to develop business for a client, right, you have a way how they can actually access timely this data and see the relevant statistics. So would you call this client portal tool, would you call it a business development tool at the same time for both the client and the...
Yeah, you may want to call it a business operating system because it helps you operate your business, or client operating system, if you like. But it's all about client engagement, and it helps you present yourself more professionally. And my advice is, unless you are very, very small company, I think you need to move away from the tools like Dropbox or Google Drive, etc., and present yourself more professionally.
Correct. We have a question from Yelena. She's asking, she's saying really looking good. Does the product have the ability to add, for an example, collaborator that can also monitor your business management?
I would say yes. I mean, we need to look at the context of business management. You can manage the client interaction and client documentation. You can manage every aspect of client management. You can use it internally too, but our focus is more about clients and engaging clients and sharing documents with clients and keeping everything secure. Because security is another thing too, because you need to be compliant. You need to provide a secure access to your client, and that's exactly what our tool provides.
So basically, whoever is in WordPress and is having like a client relationship management, whether with for websites that they have on care plan, perhaps, or perhaps for the websites that they're building for clients or developing, they should be very good to benefit from this tool. Now, moving to
Definitely.
yes, please say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because essentially you're managing a project in a way. So when you're building a website, when you're providing a service to your client, during this phase, you need to share number of documents. You need to interact with your client. They will ask questions. You need to answer them, and you need to store them securely. So there are different phases of this project from start to finish, and Clint manages every aspect of that client interaction.
Sure. Now, speaking of a client portal, providing better ways to communicate with clients and differentiate from competitors, right? How do we link with WordPress? Is there a plugin, or how do we do that?
Yes, there's a plugin. Our plugin works differently. So we don't use WordPress in internals. So we don't use their file system. We don't use their internals. But we have a specific plugin for WordPress. What it does is it helps you to integrate your portal, client portal, with your WordPress site very simply, so that your client can log in directly within the WordPress platform. So you don't need to worry about creating a dedicated page or writing HTML content, but we make it easy for WordPress users to log in to their portal directly within their WordPress platform.
For those who are interested in Clean, what are the next steps for them?
We offer trials, but the best way would be to get a demo. If you go to our website, we have buttons everywhere to book a demo, and then you'll have a chance to see the product and ask relevant questions to a sales rep, and they'll be helping you understand the product, and they'll be asking about your business, and we can show you how a client portal help your business and your clients. And I think that's the best way to do it. And if you're convinced that this is a good solution for your business, then you can take the next step to sign up for a trial. We offer free 10-day trial, and then you can experience the tool by yourself before you make any purchasing decision.
That's awesome. So what we've been discussing so far is communication, right? So you're not professionally, I mean, you didn't go to school to be a communicator, right? But you turn out to be a natural one.
No.
So it seems that you have that you're multifaceted skills. So speaking of communicating with clients, I mean, I think that's one of the hardest types of communication that ever you're gonna enter, right? Because at the same time you need to please the customer, you need to fulfill the KPIs, right? You need to have everything ready, and the marketing has to be right. So are there any phases like that you would suggest when it comes to development of communication with clients through client portal? And I mean, in general, how to communicate? Do we have some onboarding at the beginning, or we just keep it as it is, and try to develop it from the scratch? How do we do that?
I think one of the challenges immediately, because people are doing things, they are used to using email all the time. They're because they've been using emails for years, and next time you'll get questions like, "Oh, don't make me log into a portal. Can you not send it via email, or send those attachments to me?" And So that requires a change. So you need to educate them why this is important. So one of the reasons is compliance. Of course, as a business, as a growing business, you need to comply with a lot of regulations and laws, and especially today, it could be GDPR, it could be something else, and client portals, they will help you comply with a lot of things, because without you realizing, you may be sharing or asking sensitive data from your clients, and it's not really secure, and you might be breaching a lot of laws, and um, by doing that, especially if you're sharing personally identified information. So client portals help you achieve that, the compliance and the security. And so you need to communicate that to your customers. And this is a easier way. This is the most secure way. And of course, after a certain point, when you have so many clients, it becomes unmanageable. When you're a business with 5 clients, it's perfectly fine. Maybe sending 5-10 emails back and forth, but you cannot send emails to 500 clients or 200 clients constantly. You cannot keep them updated with projects or your status. So that's exactly when you need a client portal.
Awesome, seriously. But I mean, it's kind of hard even just to communicate and send out all these emails. What about when our customers are not happy? How do we engage in communications that are tough? I mean, that our business actually depends on.
Yeah, the way I put it, I would say we are giving you the tools so that you can contact me anytime, not just via telephone, but as soon as you send a message via the portal, I get a push notification instantly. Then I can respond to you instantly. So it kind of and then we can see each other if we are online or not, and we have this audit trail functionality that helps us to see what's happening when clients are logging in, when they're engaging with the content, if they read the content we share with them, or if they have the right access. So we have this central hub that manages all the information that you need in a secure way. And yeah, client portal helps to achieve that.
All right. Ken, are you there? You muted.
Yeah, I realized I had my mute still. How about with rewarding your long-term clients, communicating and working with them?
Yeah, everyone loves to have long-term client relationship, and it's important to um, I think you can reward them in multiple different ways, but I think one of the most important aspect is the client trust and how you establish client trust. So the branding is center of everything. So that's why the branding aspect of the client portal is really important. You need to establish trustable brand to your clients, and um, all your communication and all the interaction, client interaction, everything is in a secure place. And when you develop this transparent relationship with a client, the way you communicate and in a timely manner, in a secure manner, you pay attention to security by default by using client portals, and you comply with certain regulations and laws, and it's an open platform. um, then it will help you in the long term to establish that long term relationships with a client. Um, So yeah, I think openness, transparency, in using the right tools, really, really important.
Awesome. I mean, we're already at the top of the hour and reaching to the last point, which is what would be, I mean, you've spoken to us about your previous history, first of all, your personal development, and then your professional development at the same time. And when you started, the times were different. And now, when we're talking about business, the scene is totally different. So, although you have managed to overcome all these hurdles, I think that there are some new hurdles coming our way. What would be the message to people who are entering business arena nowadays? Like what skills they should have? Because I've seen through talking to you that since the time you were only an engineer, now you are also a marketing expert and a sales expert and communication expert and business expert, and you're adding lots of these skills. So which skills we should have in order to be successful in 21st century?
You need to develop all your skills eventually. You need to know your strengths and weaknesses, and it's perfectly fine starting with your strengths, but eventually, don't delay it. You need to develop whatever you're missing. If you're not good at sales, develop that skill set. And same with marketing and communication and so on. And they're all equally important. Um, and one of the things is, um, you may, I mean, new founders coming into the industry may be thinking, oh, there are 5,000 solutions out there. How am I going to make a difference, right? So don't think about it this way, because there are still millions of business problems um, unsolved today, and you can attack any one of them with a really simple solution and make a difference and create a multi-million, and who knows, maybe multi-billion businesses. So it's just, there are millions of business problems waiting to be solved. You just need to focus on the right one.
This is awesome, Typhoon. I'm also sharing here in the chat your Twitter handle, just in case people would like to reach out, or if they would have some ideas that they might be thinking, or even maybe some suggestions how to improve your product. So it was a wonderful hour to spend with you today. This talk, I hope it will enlighten and motivate people who are starting their career in tech, or perhaps have already been in tech but are looking for a different life path. Let us all just remind ourselves that being a solopreneur or the owner of a small business, it's not an easy thing to do. And there is a lot of crashes, there is a lot of pains, there is a lot of perhaps even misfortunes. It's not only, but it's about where we live. But the most important part, what I could get from this meetup, is that motivation and keeping yourself going and others as well on the same path would actually lead to success. It was absolute pleasure to have you, Typhoon, and
It's my pleasure.
I will also soon, we will have another panel on business development skills as well, and I will invite you to join us, because I think that nowadays people in tech building, let's say, virtual tours or worlds for others are not only there for design, but they're actually business developers. And business development, takes some other skills that people should know, and it's not easy to and fast to learn it. So we'll have plenty of time in 2022 to learn more from you. Ken, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Ken is mostly representing and being present with our community in US. So I was very happy that we managed to somehow showcase the European mind as well in global business, and how that affects people in US. This was This was another GoDaddy Pro EMEA meetup. Next time we will meet on 11th of April, and we will be broadcasting from Greece because we will be attending WordCamp Athens there and visit a number of WordPressers there. So if in WordPress conference in Athens, please say hello. In the meantime, I will wish you all the best. I wish you seriously, Tayfun, a huge success. Please let us know if there are any news or if we can, as a group, somehow help. And I'll hope to see you then as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.